What's up, everybody? And this is War on another episode of kind of our serialization slash inventory. Now, in this video, we're going to kind of touch on the last two videos of serialization, but we're also going to really look at what it is to be a button and stuff like that we can do. Now, as an example and everything of what we can and cannot do and get stuff out of the boundaries is if we actually look at our inventory. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we can't serialize because of Unity stuff. And we can't do a vector or a graph of some kind. The buttons we can kind of go around, but I do have something in here that I did run through. So can we not have some unsavory errors of some kind? Okay. So game controller has variable never used, and that's fine because I really don't care about that one. Okay, so I've got this. Okay, so anyway, in our game, what it is to serialize and stuff. Well, in our buttons, we dynamically do buttons, okay? We have buttons, and we've got a game object, we've got some textures, stuff that we can't save in here, which kind of sucks. But, I mean, we can kind of manipulate that, right? And when it comes to our player, wait. Why is nothing coming up? That should come up just fine. Why isn't my weapons coming up? Oh, because it's not in there yet. Okay, so we got our weapon here. We've got stuff that we can't do. You know, we got our cool sound effects and everything. And that's all good and all, but the problem is the buttons, right? The buttons, saving what we have, which really sucks, and what can we actually do with it, okay? Well, in our code for our player, okay, which you know I went and changed around some stuff and everything else. But what you haven't seen yet, and this is what I'm going to show you, is this. See how my states aren't set anymore? No hard-coded values whatsoever. Okay? Well, I actually have a script loaded up to do this. And now it's warsystems.player get player stats. Okay? Before we go into that and everything else, I want to go over what we can save and what we can't save. Well, we already know we can't do game objects and stuff like that. And that's cool and all. Game objects. Well, in resource.loading, it doesn't exactly have to be a game object. It can be a file, it can be an XML, it can be a binary file, but it also can be a scriptable object. And this is all inspector ran. Okay? So you're probably thinking, well, a scriptable object isn't serializable. No, it isn't. Not as this. It's a serializable class, and the variables must be public and everything, but that doesn't mean that you can't load up a scriptable object with stuff that you can't serialize. Scriptable objects, you can hold game objects in them, and it'll be fine. Saving a game object, impossible. You can't serialize a game object. But you can have a game object inside of a scriptable object. That scriptable object is saved using Unity's engine stuff, and it can hold a reference to a game object just fine. But it doesn't mean that you can't load, resource.load, a scriptable object that has game objects in it and everything else and be just fine. So basically, I took all these variables right here, put them in a scriptable object, like so, and now we've got a nice little inspector right here. It's a scriptable object that's in a player folder, and it's called player. So in turn, we've got around that boundary by using resource.loading. Now, you haven't seen war systems and stuff like that yet, but that's all it's returning, a player script, and it throws up this stuff. Now, state, I don't have it do a state variable, okay? Because state is pretty much what I call a vector 3. Okay, so in the creation of state, I also made another one where we create a vector 3. Okay, because when we go from our scriptable object, it can hold game objects, it can hold all kinds of good stuff. Stuff that we can't normally serialize, a scriptable object can do it. Now, granted, there's a few limitations to it, but, you know, I mean, it can't hold references and stuff like that, but it can hold awesome stuff like game objects. It can hold a list of stuff. It can be used to create a complete inventory of every item in the game if we want, and we can do that all from resource.loading and throwing a file any which way that we need to go. Completely bypassing the XML problem of stuff that it can't serialize, the problem of images, it can store a reference to an image, and we can just use the reference point of the scriptable object into our stuff. So all this crap that we've got that need to be fed in, we can feed it in through a scriptable object. And I use a vector 3 in here, okay? And all it does is return a player script. Now I take the player script, I make a mini function in here that sets all the variables that's in my project right now. Because if we don't call this up, let's exit this out. Okay, and I'll show you. If I exit this out and everything, we'll go to Unity, okay, and we'll hit play. And we've got compiler errors. P doesn't exist. Oh, because I got a debug.log crap. Okay. Alright, so now I'm looking at my player and everything, and now I can walk around still? Really? How? Is it still keep... What? Set states. Oh, yeah, it'll throw errors because we don't actually have variables by default. So because I didn't instantiate a default thing, when it goes to jump, it can't jump because it doesn't know what to do. crouch, it doesn't know what to do. So there is some default values that need to exist, which which it shouldn't really have a problem with that by definition right off the bat. Is it because it doesn't instantiate it right off the bat? It actually should. I mean, it's kind of, yes. I don't want it to be null right off the bat. Well, that's kind of interesting. I thought it would initialize that right off the bat. I mean, I can force it to be, I guess, but I really wouldn't want it to. If I make this public, will it? See, I figured it would be like there by default because it's a pure C class, but I guess it doesn't right off the bat, which I thought it would. I'm not gonna lie, because it kind of should. Nope. I guess I have to go through and have this here equals new state equals new state equals new state, and this will be vector3.0 which I was pretty sure I wouldn't have to do this right off the bat. Have everything exist. Okay, so now we've got that going on. Okay, so I shouldn't be able to move now at all. Like literally. Yeah, I shouldn't be able to move or anything. Okay, so now if we go into the game, walking around trying to, okay, I can, and now I can jump. That's crazy because I shouldn't be able to. Okay, so that's kind of dumb. Can I crouch now? Not really. Nope. Can I run? I can move around. Okay. Okay, well, I guess I can move around and stuff. I don't know what the deal is up with that, but I shouldn't be able to. That's kind of stupid. Oh, yeah. It's because I've got a speed variable, a default speed, a default jump, and all that. Yeah. Last speed, this speed. We don't actually have a current state. We'll put 0.1 F, 0.1 F, and 0.1. This is the fade. So let's put 0.5 F. Let's put this all in here like so. Now this should act really, not export template. Save, my friend, save. Okay. So now we should get a thing. Now there is a couple. So now we jump into the world. Okay, so now I can crouch, but I should go really, really small. Okay. Now I can't move. I'm literally pushing forward and I can't move. Jump. Very slow. Very slow. Okay, so alright, there we go. Whee, super slow mode. Okay, so that's how that works. Alright, so let's go back into code and give us the scriptable object that we can manipulate in the inspector and be all cool and stuff. So here's that. Okay, so now the scriptable object has control. And we can control it with the variables. That's completely through resource.loading. Whee, whee. Okay, and then we got our crouch still. Boom, boom. Falling? Why is falling slow? Oh. Why is my falling speed really, really slow? Now a rocket launched. Okay, so huh? Oh, because it's not fading out the speed probably or something. Something weird's going on there. It's probably because this variable right here versus that one. It's probably not tuned the way that it's supposed to. Wait, this Y? Oh, yeah, that's right. This is probably has to be 3. And the best thing about this is if you want to adjust the scriptable object variable, it will stay there. You won't have a problem with it being like super dumb. Like, which one's the jump? Which one's the jump? That's really bothering me. But anyway, scriptable objects will get us past some of this hurdles that we have. Now, I'm not saying it's a fix for everything, but it makes our life easier. Now, let's take a look at the war systems. War systems, okay, is a thing that I put together, okay? And what I mean by put together is, let's look at our editor, okay? If we look at our editor, we've got war systems here, and it's a component on a game object, okay? But it isn't instantiated at the very, very beginning, which is okay, because scripts, we can put war systems on a component, and now we shouldn't get a instantiated version of it. See? No instantiated version of it in the hierarchy. And the reason for it is the same as our instant pool. Runtime made, okay? War systems already exist, so it doesn't have an issue with us putting a component there. But if the component doesn't exist, it creates a game object and it puts stuff out for us. So you're thinking it's a singleton pattern the standard way. Yes and no. First of all, war systems. Let's go to the definition of it, okay? And take a look at it. War systems, go to definition, okay. So war systems is a mono behavior. We don't need file IO, systems in and out. I don't think we even need collection. So we've got a static reference to an instance. Then we got a string name. I figured we'll probably have name, some form of a name for a file system. You know, later on we need to know the player's name, right? So there you go, player's name. Now we have this build instance. Build instance, we just create a game object, name the game object, instance equals temp.addComponent.warSystems, and then we return instance, okay? In the onEnable step, which is called like very, very super early in the game, we fill the instance with this. So as soon as it's created, we already have the instance variable filled in. So we can do a null check of the instance. All we got to do is go warsystems.instance does not equal null, boom, create. Okay? Now we have this public string. If the player's name doesn't equal our name, player name equals our name, which is the overload method, and just returns it. Very simple. Now, we have something right here, okay? It's a public static, so it always is available. Even if the war systems isn't created in the hierarchy yet, this is already available because it's static, part of a class. And this is going to be something very, very great for us because this is going to hurdle us past the game object problem. Okay, a player script. The main soldier is a C# class. Okay, it's not a mono behavior. It can be a mono behavior. I have no problem with it, but I made it a C# thing and attached it to just a base object that we can run around with, because most of the logic for making a player walk around doesn't actually have to be attached to any game object. It just has to be created and put into memory. Okay? Then we ask for an object name. Now, if you're familiar with our other tutorials, you know that this is one of the key factors that you need for resource.loading. Okay? So the player script temp equals resource.loading. Now we have this right here. What does this mean? This, in the very, very beginning, is going to go into the resource.loading file, the folder, okay, in our project. Okay, so it's basically going resource.load, then it adds this stuff, which this is a folder, and this little slash mark tells it to go beyond the folder into inside the folder. Then we add the object name, okay? So the object name is something that we feed in. In our toSoldier, we feed in player. Okay? Now the reason why I asked for this overload right here is if we had a different type of player, I want this overload right here as a filter, because I can create a overloaded method right here, call it the same thing, but instead of this, we can call soldier, the soldier class. Keep the same name concept, and it's not going to care that this signature is different. It's not going to care about the name. So it'll go in and look for a soldier script, and we'll have this kind of stuff, okay? But the main player soldier cannot call this function, okay? So we can specialize and filter out a lot of other garbage if we wanted to. Because a lot of times, naming functions, coming up with a lot of names for different functions, can become a pain in the butt. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Calling soldier.go, calling movement.go, I mean, it just becomes problematic. Okay, I mean, not really problematic, but you know what I mean. It gets then after so many functions that's in the game, you're gonna go, where's my stuff going? What am I actually calling? You're just gonna look at yourself and be like, oh my gosh, what in the heck is going on here? Where's this function going? Then you're looking, yeah. So I require a signature of what player controller is calling this. Okay. And we take a name. So in here, later on, we can go in here and go, hey, well, guess what? Instead of players folder, we can go into NPCs. Okay, so this soldier is going into the NPC folder and pulling out the file right there. No biggie. And then returns it. Even though it's a player script and everything else, it goes into a different folder and looks for the same thing. Because maybe the scriptable object that you want to pull out is different from the one you got for your actual player. This always instantiates a new copy, okay, and things. I do believe it will instantiate a new copy. It just won't do a reference type like an instance. I think it would just create a new one, but I'm not too sure about it. Besides, scriptable objects, you're not supposed to manipulate them at runtime anyway. So there you go. But this right here in a scriptable object, this is how we're going to start creating a lot of our stuff that's more of a pain to work with. And there you go. And this is static, so we can just call this anytime. Doesn't matter. Okay? And it's very easy to call up and resource.load it. Now, a lot of times you make sure you write functions that, fit your needs. A lot of times you may have to tailor like a customized thing down here for something that may not exist only for this class. Like you may not be able to sneak with all the players in the game. So when you get to this soldier script, you add sneak on here, and the scriptable object doesn't have to have those variables. Okay, like jump speed. It doesn't have to have jump speed or fall speed. I mean, you don't have to have fall speed in the scriptable object. The speed variable, yeah, pretty much. I could see that being needed, no lie, but you know, that's all up to you guys how you want to tailor it. But I think I'm going to let you guys go in this video and stuff like that. I hope that this opens your eyes on serialization, and we're going to be moving forward, separating a lot of different problems when we're going to do our inventory stuff and make it so much easier, because we're going to be able to store stuff and just load it up as we need, and every time we load something up, we're going to come up from a list and things. It's going to be super fabulous. You guys are going to love it. So, peace out, everybody, and I hope to see you in the next video. Sorry if these videos are kind of boring, but they're subjects that we've got to hit so that we can move forward in better stuff. And you know, last but least, everybody always has problems saving stuff. So a lot of times the hurdles that we face are things that people have solved, but they don't really tell you how they solve it. And a lot of games, they tailor the serialization like crazy to themselves. I mean, yeah. Trust me, guys, it's not shameful to have a problem with this kind of subject. So, thanks for watching. I hope that this helped you. If it didn't, I'm sorry. You're just going to have to research more. But remember, as always, like, hit subscribe, and peace out, everybody. See you in the next video where we will start tailoring our inventory system to a lot better form. And we're also going to be doing a lot better when it comes to our tower defense, when it comes to our player scripts, and a lot of other stuff, because this stuff is going to be pretty much how we're going to deal with a lot of stuff in the future. It's going to be very, very pleasing to work with this kind of thing. So take care, and I hope you learned something. If not, sorry, but this is War over and out.